November 6th. It's Tuesday. This is Facebook Live Coffee Chat. I hope you're able to join us this morning. It's yesterday was a holiday, so today is the first day of the week. It's a little bit different feeling this morning. I hope that you all had a nice Labor Day weekend. It's always nice to get a extra day off. I spent most of the weekend with my family and around the house doing some projects. The boys wanted to paint their bedroom, so we got that done. And we took a little boat ride yesterday afternoon. My boat's been out of commission for some time and almost a year, and got it back together and got to go out, and it was a test drive, but it was a nice little afternoon on the water after all of the Labor Day crowd seemed to be gone. So if you're here, please leave a comment so I know you're here. And my earbuds that I usually use as a microphone have broken. I guess those things do have shelf lives. I've got to get a new little microphone, and so I'm just using the mic on the computer. So hope you can hear me fine. Let me see. We don't have any comments yet. I don't. Oh yeah, we do. Man, good morning, Joan. And somebody else. And Karen, it's Karen's with us. Usually she watches it an hour or so later. Good morning, Karen. It's good to see you here. I am going to start this morning with a little bit of some COVID numbers. Yeah, Karen, you can ask any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Just put them in the chat. So I looked at some COVID numbers, and I don't think I talked much about COVID last time, but I was interested to kind of look at where we were. So August 19th through 25th, which is a couple weeks ago, in Florida, we had 43,000 new cases. And that was the seventh week in a row that number had gotten smaller in Florida. So we continue to kind of trend downward. Let me unpin this. Good morning, Terry. So back in early July, we had about 78,000 new cases in a week, and we've trended down. Now we're at about 43,000. In Pinellas County, we have this year, in Pinellas County in that week, we had 1,744 new cases. And I'll get to that question in a second. That's a good question, Karen. 1,744 new cases that week. The total deaths year to date for 2022 in Florida is just over 14,000, with 12,000 of those being folks that are 65 and older. The total since March of 2020, so including the 2 years prior, we're at about 80,000 deaths in the state. So certainly, although it continues to spread, it seems to be much less deadly. The fatality rate all time is about 1.1%. So that's since March of 2020, and this year to date, it's about 0.6%. So a little bit over half of all time. So it seems to be less deadly, like I said. And for the folks that are 65 plus, the fatality rate all time is 6%, and this year to date it's 2.8%. So those are just some interesting numbers, COVID-wise. I'm going to answer Karen's question. What if and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the referendum questions on the ballot this November. Karen's asking, what if the property is found to be undevelopable? Can he do anything he wants with it after the sale? So it's specifically for a development that's at least similar to his proposal. And there will be, the bill of sale or the contract has not yet been written up. The commission has gave pretty specific direction to staff that we will only approve an agreement that has some buyback measures. One would be, obviously, if it cannot develop it, it would come back to the city. So there's a lot of things in the air still. Certainly, if the Porter Group decides that it's too costly to correctly, let me check something. I gotta check on the dog. Grady, come here. What do you have? What do you have? I'll be right back. I'm just gonna pause for just a second. Nope. That's not yours. That was a good pause. Come here. Because he was playing with some coral. Here, we'll say hi. Hi, Grady. Hi. That's the beauty of a live coffee chat. Where are we at? So, we will have buyback provisions, and if he's not able to do what he's supposed to, or what he wants to, it'll come back to the city. Sorry about that. I was running around. I got a call. All right. So the next thing on my list is solid waste. We were closed for Labor Day yesterday. So if Tuesday is your normal day, pardon me, don't take your can out to the curb until tomorrow. If Monday was your day, they're going to pick it up today. So Monday's bumped to Tuesday, Tuesday's bumped to Wednesday for residential solid waste and recycling. And then the later day in the week is the same as it ever was. So if you're Thursday, it's going to stay Thursday. Friday's Friday. So let me see. So we are going to have a couple public meetings to cover some of the ballot measures in November. One is coming up this Saturday at the library. Man. This Saturday at the library is going to be an in-person meeting in the Jenkins room from 10:30 to 11:30. So we're going to go over the three ballot measures, as well as talk a little bit about the seats that are up for election. It's Alexa just thought I said Alexa. It's weird. So that's this Saturday in the Jenkins room at 10:30 at the Largo Library. And that's an in-person meeting. We will have a Facebook Live virtual meeting on September 14th, next Wednesday, from 5:30 to 6:30. So you can join us on that as well. Let me see. You may have been driving through downtown recently and seen some work going on. There's a few things happening. First is the work that's being done on the medians. Our parks crew is refreshing those medians all through downtown. So they're going to do some annual plantings on the ends of those medians and refresh some of the plants in there. They've been neglected for a little bit because of irrigation problems following the work that was done about a year and a half ago downtown. In Ulmer Park, it's a mess right now. You may have heard me say this before, but there was a 6-foot tall stormwater pipe underneath there, a corrugated metal stormwater pipe that collapsed. So it caused a little sinkhole in the front of Ulmer Park. So we're replacing that pipe the whole span of Ulmer Park. It had been lined much to the east and west of Ulmer Park some years back. So that pipe has been inspected and is fine, but we're going to put a cement pipe through that span, so it will be good to go for a long time. Um, you also noticed probably that there's a fence around the City Hall lot now. So the whole block, the whole 400 block, has a fence around it to prepare for the beginning of construction there. Groundbreaking on City Hall is in October, so just next month. Let me see. 20th, southbound only right now. It's been under construction for a little while. Good morning, Dave. And it's still southbound only. It's scheduled to be done in the next couple months, so that'll be a nice completion of that project. And it's supposed to be in by November, so hopefully that stays on schedule. It has been on schedule. There's a lot of work being done there. The new teen area just over by the train station in Central Park. Good morning, John. Now, John, are you down in the Keys or are you up here? It seems like you're in the Keys quite a bit right now. I'm jealous. The new teen area is going to be we're going to have a ribbon cutting on October 4th, and it's going to be it's funded by the Police and Kids Foundation. Really pay if we have the best service. Well, yeah, we're working on it. We have some work to do still on roadways around town, but we're certainly good. Well, it's good to have you back, John. Good morning, Sue. We still have some roadways that need attention, and I'm going to talk about one of them in just a minute. But we're certainly have prioritized that infrastructure, and thankfully some of the state and county road improvement projects are coming through as well. So next on my list is Gladys, which is a road that runs north and south on the southwest side of town, kind of. It's been in bad shape for a long time. Look this in the next month or two for a community survey that's going to be out talking about some of the traffic calming measures that the city's considering during the design. That's going to be redone or built in 2023, so scheduled for next year, starting sometime after October this year. And we're trying to get some, right now there's potholes and a big dip. The dip's actually smoother than it used to be. But the condition of the road acts as a traffic calming device. And we're going to fix the condition of the road, so we want to make sure that we don't create a runway where cars are going 40, 50 miles an hour through the neighborhood. So we're going to present some possibilities for traffic calming along Gladys when that gets redone in 2023. So look for that community survey for the neighborhood right around there. I wanted to talk about the 3 ballot measures. The first one is, and I got a tickle in my throat this morning. It's driving me crazy. It's a good thing it's a coffee chat, because it's expected that I drink some coffee while I'm doing this. That is, I'll have to check, Dave, on 137th. I'm writing that down. I'll check on when that is. I think it's in the schedule, and I may have given you a timeline before for that, but I am familiar. Good morning, Diana. So there's 3 ballot measures other than the election. There's 2 seats that are contested. Commissioner Smith ran unopposed, and then Commissioner Carroll decided not to run for re-election. He wanted to focus on being a grandfather, so that's awesome. It's awesome for him. We'll miss Commissioner Carroll. He's done a great job. But a guy named Chris Johnson, who's been very active in the area for a long time, ran for John Carroll's seat and is unopposed as well. So we will have a new commissioner, and then there's 2 seats that are up for that are contested. One is an open seat. It is Curtis Holmes, who's a former commissioner, running against Maria Cato, who's also been very active in this community for for a long time. So that's good. Two candidates I think that have some good experience, and then the other seat is Commissioner Donald Hulk, who's done a great job, and then Kai Rush, who has been active in the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. So we do have some great candidates across the board for 2 seats. So that'll, take a look and you'll find some information on those folks. So we have a charter amendment on the ballot, and that's specifically for the Horizon building. Currently, the city's charter says that the city can only lease or be either the leasee or the leaseor, enter into a lease for 5 years or less without a referendum, so without it going to the voters. So because of that, the city never enters into lease, not that I've ever seen, into leases that are longer than 5 years, just because it's really cumbersome to have a resolution if you're entering into a lease. So some examples would be golf carts at the golf course. We lease the golf carts for 5 years because we can't lease them for longer without a referendum. And a referendum adds cost, it adds time, and a lot of things. Golf carts, it would be easy to probably do that. It works out at 5 years for us. We could do it for, go to referendum to see if we could lease them for 7 years, but that's what it would require. Commercial space, a restaurant space or a gift shop or a coffee shop, most of those places are going to invest quite a bit of money to build out a restaurant, and they would prefer a lease longer than 5 years. So the charter amendment just reads to exempt the Horizon building, the new city hall, the commercial space in Horizon from that 5-year restriction. So it would give our real estate professionals, our team, the latitude to negotiate leases that make sense for both the city and the tenant, and then those leases would come through city commission for approval rather than a referendum. So that's I think it's critical really for the success. It's going to help us get more desirable tenants and also reduce our upfront costs. If somebody's entering into a 5-year lease, they're probably going to ask the building owner to put in the money for the build out because their guaranteed time's only 5 years. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me or go to largohorizon.com. There's a political action committee that's supporting this ballot this measure, the charter amendment, and they've got yard signs and that type of stuff. So if you have any questions about that, or if you want a yard sign, let me know. That was me, Grady. And so I inadvertently knocked on the table. So Grady, nobody's here. All right. So the next ballot measure is a referendum to grant authority to the commission to grant economic development ad valorem tax exemptions to businesses that are either creating new jobs or moving to the area to create new full-time jobs. So they have to be a target industry, and that's determined by the state. The only example that I can remember, and probably the only example that we've used this authority, is Tech Data. When they were Tech Data, they expanded their campus significantly to bring 100 new jobs to Largo, and they spent millions of dollars on building a new building and preparing for these new positions that were going to be here in Largo, and we gave them an exemption on the increased value caused by that redevelopment or that construction for 10 years, and it was based on the amount of jobs he provided. So it's very regulated by the state, but it really helps us keep those jobs here or attract new jobs. In that case, Tech Data was in a position where they just merged with a different company, and they could have easily moved those jobs to a different campus. Instead, they moved 100 and so jobs here, and so they paid their normal taxes on the property. Just the increase from whatever they built, the infrastructure that they built to handle those new jobs, was tax exempt for a period of time. So it's it's a really nice tool. We partner with the state and the county to promote that, and it helps get jobs here. Again, you can get some more information on that on the city's website at largovote.com, like go vote, largovote.com. Lastly is the Porter Development one, and that is to authorize the commission to sell 87 acres to Porter Development for. Oh, good morning, Doris Ann. Thanks for joining us to develop a athletic facility. So you can certainly find the preliminary plans out there. This is the first step in a long process. I think it's we've been, as a city, we've been trying to find good solutions or a good idea to activate or to do something with that former landfill site. Some of the ideas that have been tossed around were soccer fields, baseball fields. We've talked about before a lazy river type thing with commercial development. I've heard kicked around. So there's a lot of different ideas have come before us in the past, and this developer came, and so I think that the staff as well as the commission was at least interested enough to send it to the voters to see what they think about us selling this property for development. The good thing is it would tie into. There's a lot of good things, but it would tie into our network there, and it would it's kind of a neat project. So take a look at that. That's the last referendum. So tonight we do have a meeting tonight. It's Tuesday, and we will be talking about. It's the first reading of the property tax, the millage rate. Currently, you probably don't know this number, but currently the millage rate in Largo is 5.58 mils. The proposed with the budget for 2023, the proposed millage rate is the same, so to stay at 5.58 mils. The trim notice, you probably got a trim notice last week or right around there. The trim notice said, I'm trying to look at the chat here. I might have messed up. The trim notice said 5.8082 mils, which I doubt that the commission is going to want to stay at that. That's an increase on the millage rate, but that was the maximum that we could do with a five member vote. I wasn't at that meeting. I probably would have recommended we stay at the 5.58, which is what our budget was based off of. I think the commission's thought was that this is just a number that we're going to send out in the trim notice, and we can always set. It's not a real number. However, what's proposed with the budget is 5.58. At least one other commissioner has talked about bringing that number down just a little bit to reduce the millage rate a little bit. I think that's a good idea, so we'll talk more about that tonight. And that is what is on my list. I don't know if there's any other questions about. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about. I'll check back into that, Dave. There's a lot of people that speed down 137th. That's a challenge. In a city like ours where there's a lot of people that live here. Good morning, John. How you doing? Is it cooling down up in New Jersey yet? The people are cutting through 137th, the kind of shortcut over into over to 8th Avenue and across, or I guess it's Vaughn Road there. It's not cool yet. Okay, it'll get cooler before it'll get here. It'll cool here, I think. So how we can reduce that behavior of people cutting through and flying through neighborhoods has been a big challenge. We've done some installations of things like speed bumps. We've done a pretty good job, I think, on Trotter Road, although I do get some anecdotal reports that there's still people that kind of fly down Trotter on the new road there. So I'll take a look back at 137th and see what our plan is, or if there is a timeline for some redesign there. And if anybody has any thoughts or ideas, one thing that the city has talked about on a few occasions was to put some roundabouts or some some things that keep you from going straight flying down a road for a long ways. I don't. I think a lot of those are good ideas. The city for a long time didn't do speed bumps for multiple reasons, but the speed bumps in some neighborhoods have seemed to be pretty effective. So nothing's really off the table. It's a problem that we're determined to try to find solutions to. And every street is different. 137th is 7th Avenue Southwest for speed. So if I'm not mistaken, Jennifer, that's just south of Mildred Helms Elementary, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a cut-through road where people do cut through. It's only a couple blocks, so the process shows that the cars aren't exactly speeding. That doesn't mean it's not a problem, in my opinion. But they put down those stealth speed determining things, and if I think the speed limit on 7th is probably 30 miles an hour. It's possible it's 25, but 30 miles an hour on one block between homes is a lot. It's too fast. And if you're going 5 miles an hour over that, it's not going to register as significant speeding problem, according to our traffic safety committee. So how we can help in those situations, it's a real challenge. But I'll be in touch with you, Jennifer, and continue to look at that. We have many of the same cars are cutting in front of my house because I don't live too far from 7th Avenue Southwest, and I don't know the correct solution for it. Certainly, there's not one solution for all these little cut through roadways, but we'll keep working on it. It's a priority, not only for me, but I think for the entire commission and our traffic safety team. Years ago, not that long ago, really, our traffic safety team would just put up the speed response thing and send some directed patrol, and that was it. We wouldn't change the engineering of the roadway to help the situation. Now we're actually doing that, and it started with dropping some speed bumps in some neighborhoods, and looking at how effective that was. And then it continued on the Trotter rebuild, where we put some design things that were aimed to reduce the speed. So it takes a long time, but we are certainly willing, where I'm not sure that we always were. So thank you for the good questions. Thank you for being here this morning. I hope that you guys enjoy your short week. I've got a big to-do list because it's Jenny's birthday this week. So if you see my wife, please tell her happy birthday for me. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.